Hari Om, Namo Narayan to all. So, we are here to discuss some facts on Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuranam. As I heard, Pawanji was explaining it and mentioning some writer's book to read it. And really, it is very uh, good and to be appreciated that he is motivating and inspiring to enter into a text which is not known as it should be known. Bhagavad Mahapurana is generally known in India also. In India, uh, that this book is full of a story and meant for just singing and dancing. That is the texture of this holy text. But it is not so. Unless we don't enter into it, unless we don't study it properly and listen it from the known people who are sipping it rasam alay, then then only we will understand the glory of this holy text step by step slowly. So okay, again welcome to everybody, and I enter into the Srimad Bhagavatam discussion points over it. As we earlier discussed, this tenfold Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana divided into 10 categories for studies. We discussed on the very first Sunday, and the Satyam Param Dhimahi, the very first verse of the Bhagavata by which it starts, it is called Mangala Charanam. So Mangala Charana Slok is the first verse of the Bhagavad in which it is clear, is explained what is Satyam, what is truth, what is Param Satyam, a truth beyond time and space, a truth beyond the grasp of intellect. It exists but cannot be explained. So you can understand how typical it is. Anything which cannot be grasped, anything which doesn't come into the time and space frame. So generally we deny it, and most of the philosophers have denied this Param Satyam. Many philosophers and Indian school of philosophy also not accepted a this kind of thing can exist. So the Bhagavata will explore it. Before entering into the sloka, I want to say what is the role of understanding in my life? Because this question is asked repeatedly among all of you. What is the need of this study of this philosophy? Generally, we prefer and want to follow the practical things. It's a very common tendency. Anything which is practical, useful, we accept it. But we don't think anything which is explained in the scriptures or text, it will be used. This is the principle. Anything which cannot be implemented, which cannot be experienced, which cannot affect my daily life, it will not be said in the scriptures. Only problem is that we don't connect itself. We don't make such efforts To understand it, how does it affect my life? How this important philosophy can play a vital role in my life. When we understand, yes, this philosophy is also a great impact on my life, then we get interest in it. So I speak few words about it first. Why this philosophy? Why the investigation of this Satyam is required? And other than this, when we will go through into the different topics of the Bhagavatam, so why those topics are really required in my life and how it is required in my life. So, to analyze it, first of all, we should think, we should understand what is the role of understanding in my life, how my understanding gets an effect and play a vital role in my life. The understanding, and you will be surprised, my whole life system, my whole code of conduct, my whole way of living, my whole way of thinking depends on my understanding. What I understand. It is the key role, it is the key which opens all the locks and it affects my all life, all physical life, mental life, social life. How? Suppose, for example, this is the world in which we are living. And now there is an analysis of the word begins in the scripture. What is my understanding about the world in which we are living? Suppose right now I have an understanding about the world around. This world around is full of dishonesty, the full of frivolity, the full of immorality. All around the corruption is pervaded. The whole society is very selfish. So, what is there? This is my understanding about the world in which we are living right now. So, when my understanding is this about the world, what will be my reaction and what will be my code of conduct? Okay, if the whole world is selfish, so said to be a selfish is a nature of the world, and to survive, it is necessary to be as selfish and to live a self-centered life because everybody is a frivolity, everybody is a dishonesty. So you should offend yourself. You should keep away yourself from this type of word. So a kind of negativity to the world, a kind of self-centered life. And if we don't lie, we cannot survive because everybody is lying. So we have to speak lie. If I don't speak lie, we cannot survive. Everybody is corrupt. If I don't be a part of the corruption, if I don't be a part of the corrupt system, it would be very difficult for me to survive. So, do you think my all thinking pattern, my living pattern, my code of conduct is depending on the on my understanding about the world? Now, see a reverse example. How the Tulsidas ji saw this word, how the Prahlad and Dhruv saw this word, how the Jnani Purusha Eknath ji, Gyan Dev ji, Shankaracharya Bhagavan, how they perceived this world in which they lived. and how they explained about it. Goswami Tulsidas ji, Prahlad ji, what they said about the word. Siya Ram मैं सब जग जानी करो pranam जोर जुग. This word is the manifestation of my Lord. I bow down to everybody. Prahlad says this word is first manifestation of my Lord. It cannot harm me at all. And the Hiranyakashipu with all its power and support could not harm Prahlad at all. This story will come. That Lord takes care of their devotees. With this understanding, we become a monk. We leave everything. We go in the forest. Okay, Lord will take care. And it is taken care of. No doubt in it is. I'm the proof of it. Everything is taken care of by some unseen power. How it happens, the understanding. Their understanding was different. My understanding is different. So my life is different and my everything is different. So we all should think very seriously. This understanding turns everything. The most important thing in our life is understanding. Suppose we are doing yoga exercises. We are trying to meditate on the chakras. Okay. Some person is not doing this. You ask here, why are you not meditating on the chakras? He says, "Yeah, I don't have any interest in it." For that particular person, if you are explaining the beauty and quality of the chakras, he will reject it. He will not even be ready to listen it. But a person who is practicing and getting the benefit of it, what will he do? He will convince, he will give some lollipop, he will develop some way to induce this knowledge into it, into that person, because he is directly getting benefit of the meditation of the chakras. So if he is a successful, he knows the technique how to input it into the other person, so he can do it. And if the other person starts it, oh, and he finds benefit of it, now the job is over. He will ask and he will study and he will read about all the theory related to the chakras, because he got convinced. And so what happened? His understanding changed. Yes, meditation on chakra is a uh, positive thing, energetic thing. We should do it. Only understanding changed, the life changed. You will be surprised. All philosophies, what they do, they change my intellectual conviction. Once the intellectual conviction is changed, everything is changed. I give an example of the philosophy, the Mimamsa philosophy, Karma Mimamsa. What they say, my dear, you was existing before this body came. Now you are owner of this body and experiencing the results what you did before, and what you are doing in this body, you will get the result in another body. So your life is a continuous process from one body to another body. This is the basic principle. When it It is convincingly infused into the reader's mind. And I accepted this philosophy. Yes, I exist before this body and I will remain after this body. This understanding will change the entire setup of my life, entire setup of me. Then I will be more careful about my karmas. I will not be giving the pain to others because I know it will come back to me. In this body, we are suffering. Oh, I have done lot of uh, negative karmas in my previous life, so I will not repeat it in this life. So I will try to be an honest person. I will try to be a cooperative person. I will try to be a person that is not harming the universe, not harming the individuals. Why it is happening? Then I will be interested in Sraddha Karma also. Because when I do Sraddha Karma, the Pitar will get it. I perform the yajnas because I will get the result in other lokas, in other bodies. See, entire structure will be accepted the moment I accept I exist before this body and I will exist after this body also. So what happens? Only the understanding. The most popular thought in the entire world, yeah, the most popular philosophical understanding in the world is Laukayatik Charvak philosophy. It was always and it was now. The Charvak philosophy, what they say, you are born with this body, will die with this body. Please be careful. This is a understanding. If I am convinced, yes, I am born this body and I will die with this body, no life before, no life after, then this understanding will command my pattern of thinking, my pattern of living, my pattern of behavior. Everything will be controlled. Just one this intellectual understanding. Oh yeah, who cares about the loka and parloka? Then what to do? Be happy. Try to get more and more uh, comforts of your life. Whatever you can do it for this life to enjoy, do it. So the Lokayatik, the Charvak philosophy turned into this pattern. Because I'm not caring about my previous and afterlife, it never existed. So no yajna is required, no sraddha karma is required, no puja and upasana is required. No, to be a good person is required so long as my comfort is not sacrificed. Okay, I started this point, so I do. Even in Charvak, there are two Charvaks, Upper Charvak and Per Charvak. So Upper Charvak says take as maximum comforts and enjoyment you can, you should do. For that, if you need debt, you take debt, you borrow the money and enjoy. But the Paracharva comes and says, no, if you don't live a balanced, Sanyami Jivan, Sanyami life, you cannot enjoy your this life also. To enjoy this life up to the last breath of your life, you should be a very Sanyami Vyakti. You should live a very controlled, disciplined life. So your body will give you a long time association because only body is a means to enjoy. If the body decays, how can you enjoy? So to protect this body, You should live a very disciplined life so you can live comfortably as maximum as possible. So enjoy this. So I'm just telling you how a understanding affect mind. Wherever we are right now, or whatever kind of life we are living, whatever my interests are there, first to think what am I thinking about myself? What is my understanding about the life? And knowingly or unknowingly, that understanding is commanding my life, whosoever he are. Whether he's a philosophical person, non-philosophical person, it doesn't make any sense. Every person lives with a understanding. So now what happens? We don't know the extraordinary level of understanding that can affect my life. There are some extraordinary understandings. You can say divine understanding, mystical understandings. We are not even familiar to those understandings. And when those understandings are discussed, we say, oh, what's the use of it? I don't think any implementation in my life or those philosophical books and words and words. So we should leave it. No, we are missing it. Our great ancient rishis have written the words over the words over the words and the books. First of all, we should think, was they fool? They was not knowing that this bundle of words and books are not useful. So why they have written those books? Why the Vedas are here? Only 22,000 slokas are available in Vedas right now. And historically, it was said that more than 1 lakh the slokas was there. Mahabharata is written, 1 lakh verses is there. Many books are written with many words. What they do, what all the books meant for. First, they change my intellectual conviction for a better experience. And second, when my conviction, understanding is changed, what should be the code of conduct? What should be the way of thinking on that particular field? For that, the entire structure is available. Again, I give you the example of chakras. Once a person is convinced, yes, we should meditate on chakras, it will help us. It's the most beautiful thing, and it helps us. We should contemplate. This conviction is there. Now he will ask you, how many books are there? How many persons have experienced this? What are their experiences? What are their methods? How many methods are there? Where are these methods are explained? Have the rishis have explained these methods? Many questions. And for that many questions, the many books are there. Multifold dimensions are there. So by that way, it becomes a huge, huge storehouse. So when we enter into a library, do you read all the books? Wherever your interest is there, you find the books according to your interest. Suppose you don't have any interest in astrology, all right, but 2, 3 lectures listened. Astrology plays a very important role in scientific area to establish the planets, and you are sending these solar Chandrayaan and other orbitals, ये जो ग्रह उपग्रह जा रहे हैं. So astrology plays an important role, and you are a scientist. You are a mathematician. You never took interest in astrology at all. But the moment you understand astrology plays a very important role in the scientific area, you search for it. Then you want more and more informations, more and more books. You need it. And luckily, in any area, you get interest. You have lot of treasures available in our system given by the rishis. So never say these are the bundles of the words and the books. No, it's an insult. Try to understand, and I really tell you, once you get under, once you get interest, and it interest gets more and more, you crave for the informations. You crave for the knowledge. Who has written, which rishi has given some lights and focus on this particular point, and we get it. Luckily, we get it because we have in all field of educations. So we should think about the philosophies. What is my understanding right now? Can it be improved? Can my understanding be improved? If understanding is improved, my life will be improved. And when we, with all innocence, without biased mind, we go through it, then we are able to accept it and reject it. If I am fit for it, I will accept it. If I am not fit for it, I will wait for it. So here we are studying the Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana. Okay. What we are getting of it? First thing, what we want from the philosophy. We enter into a book. What we want from that book. We enter into a vegetable market because we want vegetable. We enter into a departmental store because we want the related items available there. Similarly, first thing what we want. So here at this platform, we want a life which a very peaceful life, energetic life, a life which I live with all my with what I say, with all my divinity. And many of the people around us gets benefit of it, a contributory life. If we want this, the mental peace, the arrangement of the thoughts, the pattern of thinking, these all will be discussed in Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana, briefly or in uh, detail. What is the mind? How does it function? What it made it consist of? And what is the reality of the world in which we live? What is my own existence? If these questions needs an answer and you think if these are answered properly, I will get a different platform of living. And it happens. Slowly my understanding gets elevated, my life changes. I tell you, only my pattern of thinking change. We, uh, our daily life. We generally ask about the daily life. Throughout, from morning to night, what we think, just one day note down or make a chart. What we think throughout the day. So it will depend upon your uh, uh, it will depend upon your working area, your circumstances, your responsibilities, your portfolios. They decide what I think. As my portfolio, as my work conditions, apart from this, what you think. If you are an engineer, you think about the engineering structures. If you are a executive somewhere, you think about the company's development. All right. Then you come back to your family, you think about the prosperity of the family. You think about your kith and kin and your beloved one, how to make them happy. So, what is the my pattern of thinking throughout the day? And when we are agitated, got disturbed, we seek the way in meditation, we seek the way in satsang. Okay, I'm a very agitated now, frustrated one. Now, is there any way of it? Yes, come down and sit for meditation. Do some pranayama. Make your mind cool. Practice some meditation. You will find some peace. You listen a beautiful music. You listen the divine chanting of the mantras. It will have an effect on your mind. Okay, you do it and get some result of it. All right. But some philosophy comes to you. Gita ji comes to you. And Gita ji says, oh my dear, even while you are struggling and making a war, you can rest at peace always. Now this thought came to you. Oh, it is possible. While agitating, while struggling, even while be a part of war, I can be at rest. My mind can be at rest. Is it possible? The interest is there. So what the Gita teaches us? Gita teaches us the pattern of thinking. And ultimately, that pattern of thinking turns into a conclusion. And that conclusion become my understanding. And with that understanding, I can live, I can fight a war, keeping my mind at rest. How it happened? Gita, what is the Gita? Gita, Bhagavan Krishna gave us a pattern of thinking. And that pattern of thinking gives a conclusion. Uddharedatmanatmanam natmanam avsadayet. Oh my dear Arjun, make yourself strong, improve yourself. You are your own teacher, you are your own master for this. Think about yourself, elevate yourself. I am here just to support you. You have to practice yourself. When Arjuna asked, Manohi chanchalam Krishna pramathini balvadradam. Oh my Lord, I think this mind is, it cannot be controlled. It is very balvan, balvattam, dradham. I always surrender to this mind. I cannot overcome this mind. So this is the understanding. I cannot overcome this mind. It is very agitating. It doesn't work as I want to do it. No. What the Krishna says, no. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chakriyate. No, Arjuna. Wait, wait. Before making a conclusion, this mind cannot be overcome. Wait, think, think about the vairagya, think and whatever what the practices you are doing. Improve your practices and improve your discrimination and improve your detachments, because attachments makes the mind more agitated. Think about it. This life can we can live without attachments. These are the wonders of Bhagavad Gita. If we take it seriously, these are the wonders of the philosophical wonders. Without attachment, we can live. Without attachment, we can support. We take care of my son. We sacrifice my life to my son. All right, why? Because it is my son. My attachment is there. So attachment is the prerak tattva. It's a commanding force that commands me, force me to sacrifice, and I do it. Gita says, think about it. If the attachment is the commanding force, you will not get the peace. You will not be elevated. You will not experience the different platform of the human being. Think about the possibility without attachment, can you do it? Yes, you think about it. And you become Mother Teresa. You become Vivekananda. You become Swami Ramatirtha. Vivekananda ji sacrificed his life, traveled a lot, and left his body in 42 years aged with all kind of illness. He struggled for what? For their family? For their attached people? No. He lived for the humanity. He sacrificed himself for the humanity. Was there any attachment? No. Without any attachment, when we start react, when we start to sacrifice, you will see the surprising result of your in your life. Surprising result. Not only outside of the atmosphere, inside in your psychological system. The moment I live a life of contribution, Sahayagyaha Prajasashtra Purovacha Prajapati. This is the principle given in Bhagavad Gita for a human being. I understand. I get convinced. The moment I get convinced, it becomes my understanding. And that understanding commands and leads my life, and it becomes beautiful. So these are some points are here. Wow, today I could not discuss the Bhagavatam because I read 2 or 3 questions given by the Pavanji. If people are asking why and why, what is the requirement of philosophy, why should I read it? So just it is a background. I'm not forcing you or asking you to read Hindu scriptures or Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam. Think what is the role of understanding and where the greater and greater and greater understandings are discussed. And I'm sure from Charvak to Vedant philosophy, this is the up version of your understandings. So we should understand the value of my understanding, which we hold and live. And we should try to improve our understandings. So now the time is over, and we have a lot of time to discuss about the Bhagavatam. Rest of the time we will do. Thank you. Thank you to all
Thank you,
of you.
Swamiji. There are 2 questions. 2 questions have come up. There is one Anupma in our right now. She's writing in the chat. She's asking, is it possible? It's a very common question. is it possible to love someone without being attached? And the other question is how to arrive at this. These are the two questions she has put.
The second one I could not hear. The first I say,
She's saying she wants to achieve fearlessness in her life.
yes.
Fearlessness, abhayam. She wants to achieve that. Is it possible? How is it possible? But before that, this is a very common question. Is it possible to love without attachment?
100% possible, without any doubt. The moment we slowly understand the structure of life, it comes as a dawn to me. It comes as a light to me. Love is possible without an attachment. For example, it may help. Uh, we enter into a garden full of flowers, divine flowers. If any of you would have visited the Valley of Flowers here in India, in Himalayas, that's the Valley of Flower, divine flowers, divine Valley of Flowers, full miles of the miles are the flowers are there in month of September and August. Anyway, so you enter into a garden. It's a beautiful flower. It gives a glimpse of attachment to you, a love to you. You just touch it and see it. Oh, how beautiful it is. This relationship of love, this feeling of love from both the sides is without an attachment. Flower is not attached to it, and you are also not attached to your flower because that garden is not yours. You are visiting. A fraction of moment there is a relationship between flower and you. That is a relation of love. Similarly, you see a child, a 1 or 2 year cute, innocent child. That is not yours child, but very beautiful, cute, attractive. You just go and hug it. You love it. Is there any attachment there? No. Many of the things in our life for a fraction of seconds and periods, we passes through it. It can be increased with the understanding. When my attachments are decreased, or I would like to say when my attachments are improved, when my attachment from the tiny things are turned to the higher things, when my rag in Hindi it is said, राग को राग को कम करने के लिए अनुराग की जरूरत पड़ती है। राग व्यक्ति से होता है, अनुराग प्रकृति से, समष्टि से, परमात्मा से होता है। So, जब मेरा राग अनुराग में बदल जाता है तो मेरा जीवन प्रेममय हो जाता है। So when my attachment is converted into the it takes the vital dimensions. You will slowly feel you are loving everybody, and not only you are loving, you are loved by everyone. In detail, when the Gita Ji classes will be there, we can discuss all these in detail, but 1 or 2 points for this because it is very important. You are in a house, okay? If someone helps you and wants nothing, just helps and go, what kind of love you feel towards them? And frankly speaking, it may be bitter. Your son comes to you with the intention and loves you. I will get the money or I will get some favor. To get that favor, if even your son is coming to you and loving to you, you will feel, no, no, I'm not loved. He wants something, so he is loving. There will be no perfect relationship, maybe your son. And maybe an unknown person, it just helps you and moves, wants nothing. what is your feeling towards that particular person? Similarly, if I do, so the feelings of the others will be same for me. So you can love and vice versa, you will be loved. There is no doubt at all in it. Our great gurus and Mahapurus have lived their life. Thousands and thousands of the people loved our great masters because they could love without attachment. So the examples are there, theories are available. Only we have to understand and practice it. It is possible. And the second one
Swami.
is, thank you. The fearlessness. Fearlessness is comes. This is the last point of life. The moment we understand Param Satyam Dhimahi, till this is not experienced, the fear cannot be annihilated completely. It will be there in some form, maybe less or maximum, depending upon my attachments. If my attachments are very intense and heavy, my fear will be intense and heavy. If my attachments are diluted, my fear is diluted. And ultimately, no attachments, no fear, only Param Satyam Dhima. So it depends upon our journey of inward journey. It gets calmed down slowly.
Swamiji, one more question that is probably we can take in the next session is the question is, why is that known as Param Satyam? Why is it known as Param Satyam in the first place? And the
Yes,
fact that it is called Param Satyam means that there are other layers of Satyam.
yes.
Out of the many Satyam, that is the highest Satyam. So what are the layers of Satyam, of which that is the Param Satyam? And how can we intellectually grasp that that is the Param Satyam? And then of what is that? What is the easiest form of that Param Satyam by which we can Dhimahi? Because to Dhimahi, mind will need Roop, Shabda to Dhimahi. Without a Shabda Roop, mind will not be able to Dhimahi. Mind will not be able to grasp without a sound or a light form. So that route also uh, we need to learn from you.
So with the God grace, in next session, we will have a discussion over it. And just in brief, Satyam and Param Satyam means you can translate it a relative truth and absolute truth.
Uh,
So there are some relative truths and one is absolute truth. So here Param Satyam means absolute truth. And there are some relative truths which we will discuss in our next classes. Okay?
yes, possible.
Thank you. Thank you. Hari.